Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. If you didn't know, now you know. And we have a mystery bag from Custom Decals by Melissa. I will be leaving her links in the description. She has a Facebook page, she has a website. She does mystery boxes, but they're bags at different levels. So there's like a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and how much stuff you get is going to vary based on which tier you sign up for, as well as she has all kinds of stuff you can buy individually. So what she sells is nail decorations like water decals and actually dip powders as well. And so we're gonna look at what I got. This is a tier 3 bag, I believe. So this is what we get when we pull it out. It's got this little red mesh bag, very cute. And then we've got some decals. So these are moony and purple and blue, a little bit spacey. I really like that. And then there are these stickers. You can see them if I do it in the light. They go along with that. And these as well. So the theme is very cohesive. And then these two. And then also we got these. They're more like nail wraps. They're water decals that cover the whole nail. That lady's pretty intense. And some more stickers. And these ones are a little bit harder to see, but you can see them. They are stars. And then we've got these gold lines. And then last we have the dip powder. It's called Moonlit Serenades. And that's what this one looks like. It is glittery. It looks like there's black and blue and purple and pink in there. They are hex glitters. And so we're definitely going to be using this today. And as far as I know, she doesn't have her own dip liquids, so we're going to use these from Revell. They are sensitive dip liquids, and you may have seen the video before that they actually work. These do not give me dip flu. But let's go ahead and make us a swatch. So I like to do my dips inside of a cupcake liner because I always get it knocked out of the thing. I cannot do this with neatness. Alright, so let's put down our first layer of dip base. This is step number 1. And then we'll put this on in here. And then I like to do like a bit of a tapping as I pull it out so that it is shaking the extras off. Alright, alright. So we've got one. We'll give that a moment to dry and then we'll do a second dip. And when dusting your dip, you want to use a bit of a soft brush because if it's too stiff, you can scrape off all your bits. Like these are not on here well enough to tolerate a hard scrubbing. So let's do a second. Okay, 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 and it's looking pretty good. We may do a third one as well. Knock off any of these extra bits. Make sure you keep your sides in when you're doing a dip, because once this hardens, it is the shape that it is. And we'll gently dust that off so we're not knocking it off too wildly. And then let's do one more. You want to try not to get too much actual acrylic on your brush because that's what makes them hard. And this particular set of liquids does not come with a brush saver, but I've actually never had to use one because I've been pretty good about making sure that I'm dusting my nail off before dipping. Alright, so we've got a lot going on up here. Those are going to fall off a little bit. So we'll give that a moment to dry and then I'll dust it off. Okay, that's had a moment. Let's do a little bit of dusting. We want to be a little bit more aggressive this time because we do want to get these extra glitters off. I always use the same dusting brush because it kind of gets like dippy on the end. And so you don't want to just ruin a bunch of your brushes with that. Make sure you're wiping your undersides. We didn't lose much, but we can pour this back in because of the cupcake liner. Alright, let's look at the back. That's kind of what it'll look like with top coat, but a little bit dusty. So let's activate this. Now with activator, you do want to be pretty generous. You want it to be going all the way through. And if you don't use enough of it, it may not saturate completely to the bottom layers. and then that part won't harden. The activator is what makes the acrylic go ahead and turn hard, and you do want to wait for this. If you try and file it before it's had a chance to finish drying, it'll just crumble off. So give it a minute, probably like 2 minutes at minimum, but I'm gonna wait probably 5 just to be on the safe side. You want it to be like hard when you tap it. All right, this has had a little bit more time. Let's tap it. Without having nails, which you guys have hardly ever seen me in such a state, it's hard to do an actual tap, but it feels pretty good. Now I am not going to like file this because I don't need to. We are gonna go in and top coat it though, but this top coat is gel and I forgot to bring a lamp, so let me go grab one. All right, let's go ahead and apply this top coat. Now, whenever you're coating over glitter, you can, if you would like, do like a double top coat or even go in with a builder gel to help it have a smooth texture at the end. Otherwise, the top coat does just kind of go around the glitter, but let me stick this in the lamp real quick. All right, so that's what we've ended up with. It's quite pretty. I like it. It is very glittery, glitter bomb. Actually, a little lumpy because I put on a lot of top coat. Ew, and it's sticky. For some reason, that particular top coat dries sticky, cures sticky. So you'll want to use a lint wipe and some alcohol to get that stickiness off of there. You can then go in with an additional top coat if you would like, or just leave it alone because once you've wiped the sticky off, it's fine. All right, now it's time to get to the actual nails. Okay, so we're gonna use these tips. We're not gonna wear them as long as they are. I'm gonna cut them off so that they're coffin. Now I do have a peel off base coat, but my ends have started to fray because I put it on last night and I've been doing things. But that way it's gonna be easier to get the dip off because the dip is gonna be on this part of my nail. The tip is only gonna be at the end. So the theory is that this will make it easier to get that actual dip part off so I don't have to file it off. But let's pick out some sizes. Now the great thing about half cover tips is they usually have a pretty good C-curve and you can always pinch them more if you need to, and they really only need to fit the end. So now you can see that this one needs a little bit of pinching, but like I could probably go down one, but let's just check because we do want sidewall to sidewall. Alright, yeah, and so this one also still fits. Let's try one size down. Alright, now this one is too small. So we will know that this is the size that we want to go with, but when I apply it, I am going to do it with a pinch. That way it's all the way on there, and you really only need it on the end. Oh, this one's really trying to come up, but yeah, let's make sure that we're getting the right sizes for all of these. That one is on the sidewall, but that side is not. So let's go up a size. There we go, that's looking good. And that one as well. Now this nail has such a strong C-curve that for a tip to fit it, it really does have to be relatively wide. So like if I go all the way to the side on this side, there's a huge gap. Just because it goes so far down this way. Not this way, but this way. There we go, so now this one is working. I did have to pinch it quite a bit this way though. Alright, so I've got my sizes picked out, and I've got this nail glue. We're gonna go ahead and start putting these on. Let's start with the pinky. And so you really just only have to put glue down here where it's gonna be touching. That's kind of a lot, but whatever. And then we'll put it on there, and it may take a while to dry, so just give it time, hang out. Okay, so I've got that one on. Now that bit of glue is still wet, but it will dry down, and before we go in and put the dip on, we're gonna kind of smooth these sides out. Just make sure you give it enough time for it to be sturdy. That's the most important part. Let me go ahead and stick the rest of these on. All right, so I've got them on. This one I put on crooked as hail. So, like, look at that. That's awful. But if I want to straighten it, I have to peel it off and do it again. So I think what I'm going to try and do, I don't know if it's going to be successful or not, is, like, just file it so it's a little bit straighter. But we're gonna cut these down. I've got this and I've put these magnets on here to measure. This is a great way to make sure that they're all the same length. So we're gonna start off over here. You put that up against your skin, and then when you chop it, they should all be the same. Now that is longer than I believe that I want it, but we're gonna cut them down, and then if we want to make it shorter, we can. Okay, so they're crooked, but that's okay because a file will fix that. Let's go down one more size. Alright, that's a little better. I'm going to take this file and see if I can't kind of straighten them up because I really hate how crooked that is. Alright, so I straightened it up as much as I could, and I went on these little sides, but of course that does rough up your peel off base coat, unfortunately, which, you know, you could always wait to put the peel off on after, but then I'm like, that means this part's going to be really stuck, and I don't want to have to peel that up with danger. So you make sure these are good and dust free, and then we can go in and get started with our actual dipping. So here's the plan. We're going to use this for 3 of the fingers, but then I brought this, you know, just light pink for 2 of them so that we can put the decals on this. Alright, let's start here with this pinky. And we're going to do the apex method, so that means you start with just right down the middle. And then we'll stick this in here, get some on there, and then tap that off. Yeah, and so we've got some, and then we will come back to that after we go through our next couple of fingers, and then by then that'll be ready for a second layer. We're going to jump over to here and go straight down the middle of this one, and then dip that in. I'm going at a bit of an upside down angle. That way I'm getting more glitters. You see? And don't forget to go around your cuticles with a tool to get any of that caking off of there so it doesn't just pile up. And wipe your sides. Let's do this one. Same thing, straight down the middle. There we go, we've got one coating. Now remember, we'll go in with our soft dusting brush, dust that off back in here, and then we're ready for the second round. This time, we're gonna cover the whole nail though. So let's start here, try and be careful with your cuticle areas. You don't want to have to do a lot of cleanup work in there. And if you get too much glue, you will have to. Alright, let's dip that. Yeah, we're going to have to go around our cuticles a little bit. Let me scoot that over here and back up so you can see. Yeah, see, like, we don't want all this. That does not need to be there. So we want to scrape that off. If it goes onto the nail, fine. But if it falls off, that's fine too. We just don't want it to be all up in that crack, making it chunky and gross. Now some of this is going to fall off when I dust it because, like you can see, that's way too much. But that's okay. You can also do the pour over method when you're doing this. So instead of dipping your finger straight into the jar, you can just pour the dip powder over it. And that keeps it from getting so dense. Make sure you're keeping your sides in. Alright, and we're ready for the second dusting to get these excesses off so that we can go in with a third coat of dip. Now you can only do as many as you want to. Like, there's not a required amount of dips that you have to do. I base mine on how long the nail is and how much texture / glitter there is that I am trying to get coverage on. So while this one may be 3 or 4 dips, another one may only be 2. Or if they're super long, maybe, you know, 5 is more appropriate. You just kind of have to do one at a time and assess. Let's do a third, and this one I might do a pour. Be because the end is not getting as much coverage. I think pouring over is going to help it not be pushed up. If it's still got sticky bits, put some more. It's the acrylic that really needs to be filling it in, not so much the glitters. All right, let's assess and see if we want to do another coat. So it does have fairly decent coverage, but it's also quite lumpy. It would probably be beneficial to like go in and do a encapsulation layer. That only works if you happen to have some clear dip. I do happen to have some clear dip, so I think that I am going to go ahead and do that to help this be a little bit smoother, and then I'm still gonna have to file it. Alright, so I have this transparent. I'm gonna go ahead and pop a couple of layers of this on, but I'm gonna do it off camera because it's basically the same process. Alright, so those are some thick boys, but we're gonna give that some time to dry. Looks like this one actually has a little bit of a divot I might need to fill in here. And then I'm gonna go in and stick the pink on these middle two, so I will do that and then be right back. Okay, so I've got all of the nails dipped up. We're gonna activate them. That way we can get to filing and shaping. Remember, generosity is the key to success with activator. Just use a bunch. And you can even do more activating while you're filing as it is getting down through those layers. That way you can make sure it stays nice and hard. You just have to make sure you're giving it time to dry. Alright, so I'll come back in about 10 minutes and this should be ready to start filing. Alright, so that's the sound we want. They're pretty dense. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use this safety bit to do the cuticles, and I'm gonna use this hand file to do the sides. That way they are straight. But let's start with the hand file. And if you've got bits on your skin, you can also use the hand file to get that off because it works really well. Make sure you're definitely getting your undersides. Let me back this up because you do not want those to be unclean and lumpy. Definitely want to make sure you're focusing real well on your sides because you want them to be straight. If they are not, keep working on it. And then you go across to your top. I like to hold this and work my way back and forth as I'm doing that so it kind of gets it a smooth evenness. And you'll be able to tell where it's not smooth and even because it won't be filed, like there's a gap. But once you get it filed nice, that'll be fixed. So I'm gonna come back when we're ready to do the cuticles. Alright, so we've improved the shape quite a bit, but we do still have to go in and go around the cuticles because they're a bit of a mess. Alright, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to demonstrate, so you want to brace yourself. That way, ideally, you're not doing too much wobbling and just kind of shave it down. A little at a time is okay. It doesn't have to be all at once. Make sure you're going across this way so it's not just straight up and down either. Uh-oh. See, careful, because once you start getting in there, you start hitting glitters, and that's not going to go smooth. There we go. So we'll leave that, and we'll move on to the next one. And then I'm going to go in with a buffer and kind of smooth these up. But I'll come back when I've got these cuticles finished. Alright, so here's what we've got. Looks like we got a little thin on this one right here. That's alright. If you're worried about it, you can always patch it up with another layer. Got so much dust here. If you have a dust collector, definitely use it. Now we're going to go in and we're going to start our top coating. Remember, it is gel. And we want to do it thin. Like, we want enough to cover it and smooth it out, but also we don't want to make it bulky or chance it wrinkling. Try not to get it on your skin, and if you do, clean it up. and then I'll cure that for 60 seconds. Alright, so those are top coated. Now we will have to wipe this off before we go in with our decorations. So we've got our lint-free wipe and some isopropyl alcohol. Let's get these wiped up. My cuticles are stinging a little bit with this alcohol because while I was buffing them, I did have to hit them a little bit. So let's do our decorations. Let me show you what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna use some of these stars. Now these are water decals, and so the way I like to apply water decal is with a stamper. I would recommend using a bigger one for bigger things, but I don't have a bigger one with me. Now, if this has a plastic coating, you're gonna wanna take it off. I can't find one, so I don't believe that it does. So what you'll do is you'll put it on here, and then you'll get a brush and get your brush wet and just kind of coat the back. Everywhere, because that's what's going to cause it to separate. Just want to make sure it's nice and coated, and then give it a few minutes. It doesn't have to take a long time. I say minutes, but I mean seconds. When it is ready to slide off, it'll start to do so like that. So you take this away. Now we're going to want to line this up so we can get it on our nail, and we're going to put it on this one. And so you just look down this so that you can see where you're placing it, and make sure you get it placed where you want it, and then we can melt off the edges. I'm going to look from this way because I can't see through it so well. Okay, and that is on there well. And so we just want to make sure we are rolling it on there, and smooth your sides down. Don't worry about the excess yet. We will be cleaning that up. Make sure you get this all the way around. Now with nails, they are curved, so you have to make sure you're getting it down. And then once you have it on there, you're gonna wanna get some acetone. I've got some here in this lid. And take your little brush and start to melt off these parts that you don't want to keep. You can use your cuticle pusher once you've got that melted to push it apart, make your separation curvy, and then use that to go ahead and clean this up. Roll it away. Now we have this part. I'm going to go ahead and trim it down. And so it's kind of a similar thing. You want to push your sides up under with your acetone, so that is melting it, and then across the end as well. That way it shapes just to your nail. Get your corners, get your sides. Oh, that was out of the frame. You can even fold that up under there and just melt it to the tip. That's cute, huh? Alright, let's go in with our next decal. This guy, this one is smaller, so we won't have to do quite as much. You want to get it wet and give that a moment. Let's see if we can get that off. Yes, there we go. You can use your finger to get off some of that excess water. Alright, now let's have a look. So we want to make sure we're placing this the way that it's supposed to. So that's how the image should look, and we're going to go in on this nail. Right, and like that. So it's on there. I don't know if it's even, but maybe. Alright, so we did get it on. It's a little bit to one side. Sometimes you can slide them, some not. It doesn't look like it wants to slide, so we will have to keep it where it is. That's alright. That's good. I think I might put a little pieces of stars on here with it. So let's cut out some of these. Okay, so we've got some stars liberated. Let's put a couple of them on here so we can start getting those ready to separate. Not you, we're not ready for you yet. You simmer down. Alright, so I did not hit record when I put these two stars on, but I did go ahead and top coat these two in so we don't have to worry about them falling off. This one feels a little lumpy here. I might have to buff and do another layer of top coat. Okay, so while I was gently buffing these to smooth them out so I could put another layer of top coat, my star got messed up, so I'm going to have to replace that one, unfortunately. Let's do that real quick. Alright, so there's that one. But what we will do is we'll go ahead and top coat these back in. We want a good amount of it, I suppose, because we want this to be smooth. Maybe I was too sparing with it a moment ago. But also I don't want it to wrinkle because of it being too much. And then we'll go around the edges, that way we can seal those in as well. So let me cure those. Alright, well, that is that. We've got it done. Here's what we've come up with. What do you think? One of the things I hate about using tips is they always end up wider down here than they are up here. Maybe I should pinch them better. I don't know. That's what they look like on the ends. But I'm going to go ahead and get you some photos. You should be able to see those now. And again, I will have links in the description for Decals by Melissa in case you want to go check out what she has or subscribe to one of her mystery boxes. This is not sponsored. This is just something that I purchased on my own because I like her products and I wanted to share it with you. So thank you so much for watching my video, especially if you made it to the end. If you did, leave me an emoji of a moon. How appropriate. And thank you for your likes, your comments, your interaction. It all helps the algorithm, which helps my channel grow, and that helps me, and I appreciate it. And as always, make sure you're subscribed so you're here for my videos when I post them, and make sure you're following my socials because sometimes I post things over there that don't necessarily make it here. But that's it. I will wrap it up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.